Hi, welcome to Astrology and Earth Magic. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we are going to bring together the traditions and symbolism of the Sabbats of the Wheel of the Year and with their astrological correlations. The sun, moon, and stars above, they align with the earth below. And as the saying goes, as above, so below. So today we are talking about the Sabbat of Litha. So, Litha, also known as Midsummer, is the fifth Sabbat on the Wheel of the Year. And it's characteristic of the full moon phase in astrology. Things are coming to a peak. Our hard work is starting to show its results. Agriculturally, the growing season is really in full force. We begin reaping the benefits of all the hard work we've put in. The themes of Litha and the full moon phase are of abundance and illumination, things coming out, things being manifesting into reality, karmic blessings, but also karmic blights. And it's really just, you get what you deserve, and you get how much work you put in is how much you're going to get back. It's kind of like exuding positivity and you get positivity back, you exude negativity and you're going to get negativity back. So it's kind of the same thing. Now the Sabbats, they connect with the cycles of, they start with birth, growth, and death, and the cycle then begins again. So here is an example of a fun little growth phase that we saw when we were out on the boat the other day. So kind of saying where we are currently in the life phase. So we see here that birth has already taken place and a family is now formed. And it's a nice family. You see the way the mom and the dad, they flank each side, keeping those babies safe with all those boats buzzing around. But they also, the Sabbats also are in correlation with the agricultural cycles, not just the birth cycles. So it's the birth of also the things that we grow and plant. Though not a harvest festival, because that's pretty much coming next with Lammas. But we do start seeing the fruits of our labor. Like I said, we see veggies and fruits actively starting to grow. And I would show you my garden just to show like, oh, things are starting to grow, but it's really not starting to grow here yet. We're up on the mountain. We don't get a ton of sun, so it always takes a little bit longer for anything to really get going here. So this year, Litha is celebrated on June 21st. And because it falls on the day of the summer solstice. And that is the day that the sun reaches its peak in the northernmost part of the sky and moves into the sign of Cancer. And that is what begins our astrological summer. I know a lot of you know Litha as Midsummer, so like midway through the summer, but it begins the summer astrologically. It can be confusing, but you know, the sun in Cancer, and then the summer solstice, and then Litha, Midsummer, all the same thing, really. But anyway, this is the longest day of sunlight all year long. So during Litha, we celebrate the sun at its peak, and we also celebrate the divine masculine, especially as this year it also falls on Father's Day. Coming up this Saturday, or this Sunday, is the solstice. It is when the sun moves into the sign of Cancer. It is Litha, and it is Father's Day. So we astrologers know that the sun is that masculine of the two luminaries. The feminine luminary would be the moon. In the natal chart, it represents our core vitality. It's our life purpose, your inner fire, and also it represents your father. And the sun rules the sign of Leo. So Leo represents like that strength and that leadership and that pride that you take in your accomplishments and kind of that standing out. This year, just a couple days after Litha, Jupiter moves into Litha, into the sign of Leo. So Jupiter is really amplifying that masculine energy by going into that sign. And I did do a full video on what it means when Jupiter moves into the sign of Leo and what things, themes might come up, and that I did a video on that, and I will link that right up here. So definitely check that out. I'll link it to the end as well. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's very interesting. So during Litha, we also celebrate everything that the sun provides, and that's light, life, the warmth it provides, and it's our primary source of energy. It holds the solar system together with its gravitational pull. It just like keeps us all just kind of rotating around us. And we also celebrate our achievements. That's that pride. What have we accomplished so far? What are we, beaming about? What are we showing off? We are also more extroverted at this time, and we're energized, like brimming with that pride, proud of maybe, the things that we have grown, things that we've done up till this time of year. We're halfway through the year now. So what have we built? What have we grown? Also, we see a lot of things being planned, like celebrations, parties, graduations. Like that is that total sign of that full moon sign. And all graduations are really around this time of year. So it's that educational peak, and, just kind of, all right, this is as far as I can go with this. And now what am I going to do? So, you can see how it all kind of incorporates that kind of full moon semblance to it. So it's very different from, say, the Sabbat of Imbolc, where our celebrations were much more kind of low-key. That was all kind of more of a planning phase, like kind of planning for what we're going to do. All right, so where are we going to go on vacation this year? What should we plant our garden? You're using your canned goods and all that stuff. But so now we're really just getting into the thick of it. We're adapting those successes to those successes and those failures. We're putting all those ideas and all those plans that we had back with Imbolc to work, and seeing how they're starting to come to fruition. During this time of year when we have these long days, it's just, I try and get outside as much as possible. My husband and I, if we're not outside, we're in our 3-season room, which is basically like being outside. We just like to have just the outdoors around us, and just to really just appreciate everything around us. We work in the yard, working in the garden. I love, hiking, running. You see me in my videos taking the pets with me. They love it too. Really just taking in that vitamin D. It really just kind of boosts your mood too. It's easier for me to get up in the morning. I don't know about you guys, but in the winter, getting up just is like torture, and I can't do it. But now I am getting up at like 5 a.m. ready to start the day and enjoy that earlier sunrise. And at sunrise, I like to get outside. I let Chili out, and I like to get some sunrise yoga in. Sun salutes, of course, facing east, so you can kind of see the sun come up. Again, I've tried to see it, but here we're surrounded by woods, but you see how the sky begins to illuminate. So it's really, at this time, you want to really focus your yoga practice, if you are into yoga, on really opening up your solar plexus chakra. And that's right about here. So that is really encompasses that part of you, encompasses the kind of that associates with that energy of Litha and the energy of summer. It's located right here at your core, so like right under your breastbone here. It's your astral force. It's your energy, your inner fire, your desires. And, it's really just that it's touched by aesthetics and beauty and pride, and taking pride in that. And also it's, a great thing to do, when balanced, it enhances your self-esteem and your self-confidence. So if you do poses like seated cat-cow, where you're going, normal cat-cow, but this is seated, and you just go in and then breathe out and then breathe in, and it just opens up your diaphragm down here. Also, Warrior 2 is great, along with really deep breathing that engages your diaphragm. So you kind of suck the air in, pull it more into your lower area down here more than up here. It's very beneficial. It's really relaxing, especially with so much going on this time of year. And it can also help if you are into other more strenuous exercises. I'm into running. It really helps to expand your lungs a little bit. You know, so it really helps on those long outdoor runs that I've been going on. Last week I went on one to my daughter's house, which is about 9.5 miles away. So it was pretty tough, but I did it. I did walk a lot of it though. But that breathing, it really does help to kind of get you back, like, cause you know, you get like that fast paced breathing, but it really gets you like a little bit back in rhythm and really helps. And it's so much better, you know, to get outside and do these runs or go on these walks than to do it on a treadmill. And it's so much more rewarding too. Also, this time of year, we can eat cleaner and healthier as well, which also can help in building our energy and boosting our energy, because we're not eating all those foods that really just hold us down. So we can add those fresh fruits and vegetables to our diets. Even if you don't have a flourishing garden or a beehive, just got honey bursting all out of it. There's farmers markets everywhere. I swear in every town they have a different farmers market on a Saturday or Sunday. So you can find them everywhere. So you want to just go there, see what they have to offer, and just skip on those packaged or canned or frozen foods. Also, go foraging. But you want to keep a guide to know what is safe to eat and what is not. And now I was foraging the other day, and I found the most beautiful flowers, and they have a lot to do with the Fae and what we talked about in our previous video on Beltane. So I'll have those a little bit later on in the video. So they are beautiful. So another, just for food wise, to add a little taste of summer to your meals, drizzle fresh lemon in. It gives it just that more, takes away the heaviness of if you have like meats or, you know, chicken or fish that might be kind of heavy. Put some fresh lemon, some chopped thyme, parsley, herbs that really just taste like summer. Maybe even a dash of honey can add a natural sweetness. So going back to my flowers. So I'm gonna go grab them real quick so you guys can see them. So just give me a sec. Dun, 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 dun. Foraging Flower Win. That was a success. This is huge. I don't know if you can tell, but it goes totally higher than even the camera can get. So do you remember in our Beltane video, if you didn't watch it, I'll link that up here as well. We spoke about how the veil between our world and the world beyond is at its thinnest. So did you try any of the ideas that I gave you so you can maybe try and connect with the Fae? Did you try to make that connection at all? If yes, did you see any signs of their presence? Did you see things kind of formed in a circular pattern, stones, rocks, maybe leaves, even sticks kind of formed in a circle, things maybe misplaced or moved, or even something that was lost all of a sudden just in a very obvious place? Manipulations of the offerings that you left out, if you did leave out offerings, or, you know, maybe something left in its place, like you know, kind of an exchange offering. Interestingly, all of my offerings were gone, including all the vessels that I put the cream and the milk in, which were shells and acorn cups. So, you know, I know that could be anything. I like to use these you know, ones that can decompose, or they can eat the vessels themselves. So it could have been anything. But one day on a hike with Chili and Pickle, who are always on my hike, see Pickle right here, and we're not even hiking, but we saw a very peculiar and distinctive light in the distance. It was like a beacon, and it was just kind of glowing like this. I was like, what is that? And it was the only thing doing it in the whole woods. It was really, really strange. So it was like a beacon that was enticing us to move closer, kind of like a lighthouse that shows you which direction you want to walk in. So I did get it on video, so I'm gonna show that to you now. It's really, really cool. Hope you guys can get the most of it from watching this. Okay, so we just went down to the river to get some water. for a pot that we're making. And here we're walking back towards the trail, and there is our little mysterious fairy crystal. But next to it, what caught my eye, and I can't see if you guys can see it, but right this dot on this tree, right in front, was just a sparkling spot. Did you see that? We're gonna walk a little closer to it, see what it is. Okay, so here we're gonna start walking towards it. I hope we don't lose where the sun is hitting it and making it reflect. So now seems like it might have went away. But there was somebody just with us. Right near a fairy stone. I see it's still looking bright. There's our stone in the background, attracting the sun that's finally coming out. And you could see that little sparkle right there that was calling to us. Hello, we feel you. We know you're here with us. So, it was really, dare I say, bewitching. Honestly, to see where that light led us. It led us to that quartz, and I've talked about that in my videos prior. So it was our mystery quartz that just sits on top of that stump for who knows how long, who knows how it got there. And I always kind of imagined that it was the Fae that put it there. Kind of amplifying the energy in that area, focusing intentions, kind of maybe at that time of communications, maybe because that was there, that kind of focused that energy and opened up and amplified that energy. So we could open up communication, and they were just kind of showing that they were there. But also it can be a protectant against what might be a more negative or malevolent energy. So these are called purple foxgloves, and they are very much linked to the fairy world. They aid in that communication with them, and they also can act as a doorway. So I went down the street yesterday, and we kind of live, like I talked about, like up on a hill. Now there was like a cliff, and they were growing up on the top of the cliff that kind of overlooks a river, and the little river is the one I go and sit next to, but this is a little higher up area. And I saw them, and I said, I have to have those. And it's nobody's land, it's just regular town land. So I went down there, dug them up, and carried them home. And all my neighbors, I have like 5 on my street, but they all kind of look at me like I'm a little bit odd. But I mean, come on, they're so beautiful. They look like little bells. So if you can really see them. So again, they're called purple foxglove. And so what I'm gonna do is I have my entryway where I go into the woods, and that's kind of where I find that connection with the Fae, where we have that amplifying stone and everything. That's where I'm gonna plant them on either side. So they're gonna act as a doorway, an entryway for us to go into their realm, and for them to go into our room. But they are also a very protective plant. So they are highly poisonous. So usually plants that are poisonous used in Wiccan rituals, they are for protection. So I know that they're gonna protect from anything negative coming in. So and plus the color is just beautiful. And it also, they open your mind up. The purple color really kind of gives you kind of more psychic insight to that other world. So, there's just so much going on with these flowers. So I was like, this is a total score. And I have a huge bunch of them, and I'm gonna actually plant them as soon as I'm done making this video. So they, again, just like that crystal, they protect against anything negative getting through. So you see, as long as you are respectful and show the Fae gratitude, it can be a really peaceful and fun affinity that you have. So unlike in the Shakespearean play A Midsummer Night's Dream, when the Fae folk just wreaked havoc on a few unsuspecting couples and just kind of threw everyone for a loop. This movie has really become like one that's so endearing to me. I like watching it during this season. I recommend you check it out if you haven't. It's really cute. It is in kind of a Shakespearean language, so it might be hard to watch, but once you kind of get used to that, it's really a cute video. My husband spent about 5 seconds and was dashing out of the room. He couldn't get out fast enough. He's like, give me something to do because I cannot watch this crap. But he doesn't get it, you know. So also, if you know, I like to watch the movie Midsummer because, you know, you have to have a little bit of your crazy show, right? You know, why not? So another way, though, to celebrate the divine masculine is to celebrate, especially as this year falls on Father's Day, you know, spend some time with that father figure or your actual father or that father figure in your life, grandparent. But if yours, like mine, has gone and passed, this might be a time to utilize that veil being at its thinnest to try and connect with your father. So maybe visit a place that was special for the two of you and just sit and take it in and you know, maybe think of those old memories, hold something of his while you know, close your eyes, bringing on his energy. I have a pair of my father's old reading glasses. I probably could actually use those nowadays. But maybe even a photo, if you don't have actual, you know, things that were his or were special to him, maybe put a photo on your altar or put one like in your pocket or hold it as you're thinking and taking in these memories that you shared. My dad was a Pisces and he was obsessed with water. You know, he always, you know, we always had a pool growing up. We went from an outground pool to an in-ground pool. And if it was, you know, over 50 degrees, I swear he was out laying by that pool, floating around in it. He was always out there. So I'll try and get by some water to connect, you know, because I know that that's where he would try and be, because that's where his essence would be. He was very much of Pisces to the extreme, just very into water and, you know, other reasons too. But anyway, so lastly, I will end this with a fun outdoor project. So check it out. So I'm going to show you guys how to make a solstice stone circle, just like this. So you have one like a Stonehenge right in your backyard, right in your garden. So what you want to do first is gather your materials. Hi, Tilly. I would like not to have you to help. Come on. So I would gather about 15 to 20 stones, but you want to have at least, I would say, 4 of the medium-sized ones, a bunch of small ones, and 1 extra large one. So what you want to do is use a form to make a perfect circle. So I use this, which is a form to go with my exercise ball, and that's the most use it's gotten out of it in probably years. So that was helpful. If you wanted to make it a little bit bigger, if you have a hula hoop, or if you know, any size you want, really, you can just put a stake in the ground, do a string to it, and then make a perfect circle. So then you want to find a compass. So if you don't have a compass, you could use your phone. I pretty much just use my phone and the compass on it, and you want to find due north, and that's right here. So you want to find north, south, east, and west. You want to position your largest rocks in those positions. So we have north here, we have east, south, and west. And then right here in the middle is kind of what tells our time. Now, because of my backyard, like I've said in many points in this video and in other videos, we don't get a lot of sun, so this is kind of more for looks. So then what you can do is, you know, you can use this as your ritual space if you want to. So if you want to add, you know, your water element, if you want to, or your earth element, you could pile some stones if you want to do like a rock pile. If you want to do your air element in the east, maybe even add some sunstones here. citrine, stones like that that can kind of boost that sun energy, especially during this time of year, during Litha. But you can use it for whatever you want. Also, this could be a great place if you're gonna make some sun water. Litha will be at its peak on Sunday at noon. So maybe put a little jar of water, put a couple citrines in there, really energize them. So it's a fun little project that you can have that just kind of dresses your garden up a little bit. So I hope you enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me some love and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell, because we have a lot more coming up. We're going to do a little short this weekend about setting up an altar if you're interested in doing that, or just a little, you know, space if you have a little space like that. We'll also coming up and have that coming up this weekend, so in a couple days, a day or two. We also, if you're interested in the astrology portion of the channel, we have Mercury retrograde coming up, and we all know that can be interesting, and lots more fun videos to come in the full moon, of course. So you know how that's gonna go. So you know, in the meantime, get outside. You know, you may find something as beautiful as this. So I hope you have some foraging wins yourself. Just make sure you do it safely. And I'm not going to go eating this stuff because I'll probably die. It's all poison. But you know, take a manual with you, or just use your phone. Google can really find anything nowadays. It's insane. So enjoy Litha, enjoy the rest of your summer, and we will see y'all soon. Bye.